out there. My name is Dr. John Belkowitz, and I'm in Austin, Texas, getting ready to head home after a very short trip out here to work with one of our clients. While I was out here, I met with some folks from our government agencies in the U.S. and I'm in Austin, Texas. It was 98 degrees outside, and it's the humidity. I'm sweating. It's hot. And one of the government contractors asked me why I was wearing long sleeves. And I've been asked that a lot. You'll see in the videos that I'm always wearing an undershirt, always wearing something that covers up my arms. And there's a bit of a funny story behind it. It's a little bit of an emotional story too, but here goes. So if I get a little choked up, don't judge. I never wore long sleeves. I actually never wore gloves on my hands when working with concrete. I always wore a respirator. But concrete never, the cement powder just didn't seem to affect me. I mean, even when years ago my hands were in concrete, 12 to 18 hours a day, when I was working in a lab doing concrete mix, sometimes running 2 mixers at tandem to run, 15 mixes a day. I never wore gloves, and I never really got any burns. I never really had any problems with it, and I washed my hands immediately. I don't know why, I just never did. We had a family member pass away, a very close family member, and the family member was very close, and we just wanted them to be around us. So what we ended up doing was making a concrete bench and using some of their ashes in the concrete bench. And this family member had passed away 2 days before Thanksgiving of this past year. It hit us. It hit us pretty hard. It was unexpected. So we got the ashes about Christmas time, and the whole family came out. And it was actually Christmas Eve when we were making the bench, and we had built up the forms. We had gotten some cedar posts and stained them. Everything was ready. We just needed to make the concrete, put it in the forms, allow it to cure. So it was Christmas Eve, and my dad and I are in the lab with some other family members. And I was pretty stressed out. I was flustered. And I started making the concrete, and I was using a 5-gallon bucket mixer. I didn't want to throw this all into one batch. I wanted to make sure the batches were consistent. So that's why I didn't go to a 2.77 cubic foot or 3.77 cubic foot mixer. So I'm working with the 5-gallon bucket mixer, and with the size of the bench, I had to make 4 full batches, about 35 pounds, 40 pounds each. It was 4 batches. Anyway, so my dad's there, and he's like, "Hey man, you got some concrete on your arm." And I don't know why, I just lost I was upset. I was, like I said, flustered, and I lost my cool with my dad. I was like, "Hey man, this stuff is like vitamin C to me. It doesn't affect me." And he's like, "All right, sorry. I was just letting you know." God bless my dad. He's an amazing man. So anyway, didn't clean off my arms or anything else. I just got the bench done, and we went up to the house and jumped in the shower, cleaned off, came back down, and dinner was almost done. And I think it was either Whitney or Mom looked down on my arm and they said, "What's on your arm?" And I looked down, and the place where I had all the concrete, I now had like this raised set of hives, and itched. Oh, it itched. I didn't itch it, but it just, the pain was, So a couple days later, I noticed that that rash was kind of like spreading. And I put some hydrocortisone on it to stop the itching. It kind of worked. Did that for a few days. Then ended up going to the doc, and the doc gave me something stronger. And it did stop the itching, but what happened was the rash ended up traveling through my bloodstream, up my bicep, behind my head, behind my ear, onto my spine, and then all the way through to the other side. And it actually mimicked what was going on both sides. And going back to a specialist, it turns out that I found that the concrete that we made with the ashes in it, human ashes, tend to be more caustic than the normal ashes that we use in concrete, and that's what caused the initial outbreak, and then it just kind of spread. It didn't go away for, I think it was like 8 weeks that it was still on my arm, and it comes back every so often. So what I started doing is, at the time, I had to wear long sleeves to protect the areas so they can heal up faster. But right now, what I found is anytime I get cement powder on me, or cement paste or concrete on me, I break out. I start getting these chemical burns all over me. So that's why I wear long sleeves. Found it out in a traumatic way, but I can't express how important it is to protect yourself from these caustic materials. As a young guy, I always made fun of people who wore gloves or long sleeves when working with concrete. And I used to jump right in with not muckers on, but just my regular boots, concrete all over me. It's an amazing construction material that we work with, but recognize that we are working with a caustic material. Our material goes from fluid to rock within 24 hours, and there's a very specific set of chemical reactions. And it's amazing what it can do, but our body does not like that caustic material and those chemical reactions. So please, 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 for that younger generation that's working out there, that's starting in the concrete industry, or that's been in it for a while, and I'm talking to myself when I was in my, late teens, early 20s, and early 30s. Cover your arms, put gloves on, make sure you wear a face mask. Concrete is amazing, but the cement dust, the silica dust, can be dangerous. So please protect yourself. And that's the story behind why I wear long sleeves. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you have a great day. Go concrete, beat asphalt.